Hello, I'm Adam.
And I'm Rob.
And welcome to episode 19 of the Screen Bucket Podcast.
Wow, how far we have come.
Yeah. We are right in the middle of being able to drink.
Yes.
And in what?
What do you mean in the middle of being able to drink?
I was sort of thinking 18 to 21.
What?
So we're right in the middle.
Right, yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
See? Intellectual conversation.
Oh, man, it wasn't very good.
No,
It was rubbish.
Yeah, it wasn't. How did you feel about our brand new format?
Good segue. Yeah, it was good. It was more bite-sized chunks and easier to record.
I'm not convinced.
No?
No, I'm going to see how it turns out.
Okay.
See if we get any feedback. I don't know. I've got used to us just chatting.
Yeah, but we're just boring people, aren't we?
Ramble chats.
Let's have a ramble chat.
Yeah, but instead we've got music and things.
Yeah.
It was a stressful record.
It was, but that's because your computer sucks donkeys.
It will hear you.
Oh, that's true.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're a sexy Mac.
Sexy Mac.
Sexy Mac.
So, what did we talk about on the show?
Well, we talked about what we've been up to the past 2 weeks, including HorrorCon, the amazing film horror festival thing.
We talked a lot about HorrorCon.
Yeah.
I think we covered it all.
Yeah, we did cover it all. There might be some snippets we missed. Maybe.
Did we mention the films we watched?
We didn't mention the films we watched, and we didn't mention the microphone incident.
Oh, yes.
But we talked about our choice of film for the week, which was Dog Soldiers.
Yes.
Magnificent masterpiece of British filmmaking.
Absolutely. We go into detail, mainly because we met Sean Pertwee, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
The man himself, the Cockney champion, that is Sean Pertwee.
Sergeant Wells. That might be... Is that the best film he's done? Or favourite?
It's definitely favourite.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Quickly, there was one film that stood out at the HorrorCon. I do recommend people check it out. It's called A Doll Distorted. The trailer's on YouTube. Find it. I can't even describe how good it is.
Find a way to watch the film. It just keeps on going and going, and then there are moments of, oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, many. There are many.
Yeah, standout film of the festival, for sure.
But anyway, let's get to the radio show, shall we?
Yeah?
Is that
yes,
positive?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
right,
sorry,
do that.
let's start. Yes. Oh, this is Screen Bucket with Adam and Rob. Learn about movies whilst we're getting your job. There's TV and games and other stuff too. And we're gonna share all this with you. Get out of my factory, you little toad.
We're going guestless this time. We're back to the standard 1-2 conversation.
Just boring old us, but we've had an exceptionally jam-packed few weeks of awesomeness.
Oh yeah, we really have. Non-stop.
Yeah, incredible. I want this to be our lives now.
Yeah. Sleep would be nice as well.
Yeah, sleep would be good.
What have we been doing?
Well, we kicked things off with our first ever live radio show with
Yes.
North Herts FM from the Bulldog Beer Festival, which went well, I think.
It went really well.
Yeah.
Really, really positive. I mean, the day itself was a bit wet and wild.
Yeah, and that Swedish boy who swore.
The Swedish boy who swore.
You can never trust those Swedes. Not live on the air, anyway.
Well, apparently not. But yeah, this is old news now. This was a few weeks ago. But, this is the first chance we've had to talk about it. And, it was pretty good fun.
Yeah.
So, the feedback we had, though, was that maybe we don't play enough music. So we're going to try a slightly different, tweaky template this week.
Stop waffling away and play some tunes.
There'll be waffle.
Good.
There'll be plenty of waffle.
Don't take away my waffle.
But the waffle iron shall be unplugged for various segments of the show. We're going to try and do it in thirds.
We will plug the waffle iron in instead of leaving it in for when the waffle iron needs to be used.
Yes, we'll take it out and then we'll put it back in again.
Yeah, like we're using the waffle iron right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously, because it's the intro. We have to talk about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So yes, that was the first thing we did, the live show.
And then the second thing, wow.
Yes.
A HorrorCon.
A HorrorCon.
HorrorCon Sheffield, 2019.
Yes. Absolutely. The original HorrorCon in the UK, I believe.
Yeah, well, what were people saying how long it's been going for? Like 5 years or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably should have paid attention to that. But it was awesome, wasn't it?
Too busy staring at all the serial killers and sexy costumes and...
Absolutely, yeah. So it was in the Magna Science Centre in Sheffield, or sort of Rotherham, really. This massive factory warehouse thing. It was enormous.
So something out of Doctor Who or Goosebumps. This really ginormous thing with rusty stairs on the outside, and sort of science experiment looking statue things on the outside.
Yeah, and just massive, like, big, vast areas where the molten steel would have probably been at some point.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And there was special guests there. There were loads of trade stalls, loads of people we met. We're going to talk about a little bit about later. Any particular highlights for you while we're here?
I mean, there's loads of highlights, the after party specifically, but I think in general, the fact that we found our community. So if you're like listening and you're a horror fan, come next year, just immerse yourself in it, speak to all these weird and wonderful people, and just take it all in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, people who listen to the show regularly will know we are working on a horror film, and I think we did the right thing. This was like a recon. Just to see what the environment was like and watch some films and talk to people about our idea. And actually, the few people I did talk to about it loved it.
Yeah.
We were wearing our Quaggers t-shirts that we had on our crew thing last time that we did filming. And I was talking to people about it and people were really impressed. So, yeah, very positive.
A fair few business cards as well. People are going to help us.
Stack of them.
People are going to help us along with various bits and pieces of our film, but we will talk about that later. There were also some really wonderful celebrity stars there.
Yes.
Which we'll get into later.
Well, should we mention one now?
Yeah, which one do you want to mention?
I reckon we should mention the one who's chosen our film for the week.
Sean Pertwee.
Sean Ruddy Pertwee.
Yeah.
He was doing signings, he was doing photograph things, and we nabbed him at the after party, didn't we?
Yeah, which I think is a bit of a faux pas in hindsight.
He was fine.
He was fine, but I don't know. I felt like because I was the one who plucked up the courage to go and ask for a photo. And I kind of sidled in on him when he was in with another conversation. I was like, sorry, mate, can we have a photo, please? Like some sort of slimy little goblin snail. Horrible, tipsy fan. Yeah. And he's kind of like, yeah, that's all right. I kind of felt, maybe if you were him, would you be thinking, well, I know you went to HorrorCon, why didn't you pay?
Yeah, but equally, was he actually doing the photo ops, actually, now I think about it?
Yes, he was, yeah.
Well, okay, fair enough then. But it was interesting because he was a bit hesitant, but he still smiled for the camera, he still did it.
Yeah.
But then we got talking to him, and he opened up. He really opened up. He was a really, really friendly, chatty guy. Like
a book of Cockney treasures. Cockney film advice treasures.
We got to get the firm back together. That was my favourite. That was my highlight. I mentioned that we were filmmakers, and he sort of brightened up and started talking to us. He was giving me directing advice. It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, he's brilliant.
But for that reason, because we're so amazed and we didn't even ask him about Gotham.
I did. I said, when's the final series of Gotham coming out? And he was like, oh yeah, I just flew over from doing that, actually.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He told us quite a lot about his personal life, actually.
Yeah,
quite interesting. About his wife.
And his holidays. And,
yeah. But because of our wowed fan girly squealiness of having spoken to him, what film have we chosen to discuss later on?
The mighty 2002 Dog Soldiers.
Oh, Dog Soldiers. Yes. Can't wait to talk about that. But as we say, we've got a new format to play with between now and then. So the film chat will be a little bit later in the show. Between now and then, we're going to talk a little bit more about the HorrorCon and some observations.
Yes.
And a couple of film reviews as well.
I think we should play the first of our many karaoke treasures. That's a thing we're going to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
At the after party, we did a bit of karaoke. I started with Come On Eileen.
Yeah, you didn't choose to start, though, did you?
No, I didn't. No, and in hindsight, Come On Eileen is a really frickin' hard song to sing.
Yeah. Well, people were very sympathetic with you afterwards, which I don't know. I would have felt offended by that, personally.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, well, that was really hard. Yeah.
Well done. You pulled through, though. You got to the end. Thanks.
So the first of our songs is Come On Eileen by the
Dexy's Midnight Runners.
As heard on karaoke and in Preacher Series 2.
Moment, you mean everything. You in that dress, my faults I confess. That I'm dirty. Come on, Ali.
You have one message. Message 1.
Hello, it's Mike Myers here. You saw lots of me at HorrorCon. I just want to say I can't find that lorry woman anywhere. I've been looking around the town. I've been looking in the suburbs. I can't find the bloody girl. I need to kill her. I need to stuff my knife into her eyeballs. Oh, just get back to me if you find the stupid woman so I can end her life with my bloody knife.
Quiet on set. We premiere in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Screen Bucket with Adam and Rob.
And that was Chelsea Dagger by the Fratellis.
Ooh, that's a song I always think of being in the pub when I hear.
Yeah, do you picture a load of rowdy fans dancing around or a load of rowdy fans punching the living daylights out of each other?
No, I imagine being sort of slightly miserable and sitting in a dark pub.
Well,
and it just being on in a jukebox.
Not matching your rhythm at all. You
Exactly,
just want
yeah.
to fester in your own misery. But
It's just
the Fratellis...
someone's put this on the jukebox. You gits.
Some random.
Yeah, as heard in Hot Fuzz.
A little linky there. A little Edgar Wright linky going on.
Yes. Yes, what?
We played it
We did play
on
it.
our first ever live show.
It wasn't the first song we chose to play live, though, was it?
No, the first song, and we were just scrolling through the songs on the programme, and Limp Bizkit Rollin' popped up, and I was like, I know that song. I don't know any of the other ones that I can see on that screen, so I just said, yeah, let's play that. And all of a sudden we're playing Rollin' to a field of, I don't know, children.
Yeah, so we were at the live, it was the Bulldog Beer Festival. We joined Dan and Kev, the Dan and Kev show, half an hour before our slot, mainly because we didn't know what buttons to press.
Yeah, so shout out to those guys for showing us the ropes.
Yeah, well done, Dan, for directing us to the knobs and whistles and things.
Yes.
I think I picked it up fairly quickly because I was allocated the buttons, wasn't I, Rob?
I was so happy. I was like, oh yeah, you go over there and just speak into the microphone whilst Adam has to control the children's voices and decide when the rain is too loud and put a song on.
Yeah, so we ended up having, including the half an hour Dan and Kev, an hour and a half slot, pretty much. An hour was us. We had all this stuff planned, didn't we?
Yeah.
All this stuff. Didn't use any of it, did we?
No.
Well, maybe one bit,
thing.
maybe. Because live is interesting, isn't it?
You just kind of buzz yourself up full of energy and then just see what comes out of your mouth.
Yes, and we kept having guests out of nowhere. Because we were the last show of the day, we suddenly seemed to have lots of children join us in the cabin.
They were hard work.
Well, they weren't hard.
They were fine. They were very well behaved, except for the silly Swedish boy.
Silly Swedish boy. Yeah.
I
Yes.
can speak English. I read it in a book.
All right, let's not abuse them. They're probably listening.
They were great guests.
Because
Great guests.
we're only bitter because it started hailing and there was a very loud swear word before you put a song on. Oh, sorry for listening. Sorry, Sweden.
Sweden, now you're a great country.
We've seen this. We've seen the trailer for Midsummer. I don't want to annoy them.
Ooh, God. Didn't put them down as a culty lot.
Wow. Well, someone I know went, why is everyone scared of the Midsummer sound trailer? It's what Sweden's like. Yeah, well.
Oh, let's not go there.
Imagine if someone made a horror film in Sweden about Morris dancers.
Well, Morris dancers are probably the most terrifying thing known to man, so...
Morris!
Is that what they do?
You hit the stick and you yell, Morris!
Do you?
No.
Oh, that's
I
a shame.
lied. I took that from Dom Jolly.
Oh, right.
Adam's Film Reviews. Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2019.
Welcome to Rhyme City, a celebration of the harmony between humans and Pokemon.
Tim, your dad was a legend in this precinct. If you were anything like your dad...
I'm not.
I remember. You wanted to be a Pokemon trainer when you were young.
Yeah, that didn't really work out. Someone there? Whoever you are, I know how to use this.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
I know, you can't understand me, but put down the stapler or I will electrocute you.
Did you just talk?
Whoa. Did you just understand me? Oh my god, you can understand me!
Directed by Rob Letterman, Pokemon Detective Pikachu is the first live-action entry into the 23-year-old Pokemon franchise. Bloody hell. Based on the 2016 video game Detective Pikachu, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, the film has been on every fan's wishlist for decades. When the trailer landed, it was big news. Fully fleshed out and realised pocket monsters in the real world interacting with Pokemon trainers and the like. I mean, that's pretty incredible. I mean, imagine seeing Pokemon battles in full 3D. Imagine the majesty of seeing a rare and elusive Pokemon being caught in a Pokeball on the big screen. It's with some regret then that the opening monologue to the whole film basically tells the audience that this is a completely different story, where Pokemon are allowed to roam freely, where battles are banned and trainers are a thing of the past. Oh, awesome. So basically, pipe down, sit back and let's tell our story, and you know where the door is if you want to see Ash Ketchum again. I mean, I admire their bravery. Pokemon Detective Pikachu starts off in a completely different place, introducing us to Tim Goodman, a 21-year-old who lost interest in Pokemon training after the death of his mother, and then finds out that his father's died in a car crash. Yeah. Tim soon heads to Rhyme City, a haven for Pokemon to live with humans side by side, where he meets Lucy Stevens, a journalist looking for her big break, and, well, Pikachu. But this Pikachu is a little bit different. For one, he wears an old Sherlock Holmes deerstalker. Oh, and he can talk. Revealing himself to be Tim's father's sidekick, Pikachu admits that he's lost his memory and recruits Tim to help follow his trail to discover what happened to Tim's father. The trail takes them across Rhyme City, to the sunken depths of an underground battle arena, to the vast heights of society, all on the trail of Tim's father's disappearance, and the origin of a mysterious purple gas that drives Pokemon to the point of insanity. But what is that purple gas for? And what nefarious plans are at work behind the scenes? Only Detective Pikachu, Tim and Lucy can find out the truth. Okay, so Pokemon Detective Pikachu is good. No, it's great. If all you've ever wanted is to see Pokemon in the flesh, then you will be blown away. Likewise, if you're a fan of Ryan Reynolds, then you're absolutely going to love Pikachu in this film. He's as sassy, sarcastic, and surprisingly raunchy as you would expect. If, however, you're expecting a more complex plot with twists, turns, and a satisfying ending, you might find it lacking. Likewise, if you're looking to see a film full of Pokemon battles, Team Rocket speeches, Pokeball hurling, and Pokédex entries, you might just want to tune into the old anime. There is a surprising lack of Pokemon content in this Pokemon film. At the end of the day, it's fun, it's different, and it's unexpected. If nothing else, it's worth watching for the sheer novelty of watching Ryan Reynolds singing the classic theme through tears. Oh, and one final point, if you're planning on watching this at the cinema, then for God's sake find a time where there are no children. I'm pretty certain none of the ones in my screening understood what was happening. At least that seemed the case. They were asking a bloody lot of questions the entire time.
In my head, I saw that differently.
It's us at the podcast again. Hello.
Hello.
So, Rob, we went to see a film.
Yeah, a film I've been waiting for since I was 9.
Wow.
Live action Pokemon.
Live action Pokemon, yes. Detective Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds and some other people.
Justice Smith?
Is that his name?
Justice Smith.
Okay.
From the Jurassic World movies.
Oh.
Hipster comic relief character.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, anyway. Detective Pikachu, what did you think?
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't what I expected. which is both good and bad. It didn't feel very Pokemon-y.
No, it felt like a animated Pokemon movie where they go off the beaten track and start making up new science.
Yeah.
Like there's sort of people being switched over of Pokemon and stuff, which happens once in the games, actually. People remember Bill on top of Cerulean Cape. He got transferred into a Pokemon's body, and then you had to press the button to switch it back.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I guess that is in it, but all the same, it wasn't like a straightforward linear Pokemon game with like a legendary beasts and so on.
Well, there was only one Pokeball.
There was only one Pokeball.
There was no Pokedex.
No.
There was no... It's those little things I would have liked to see more of. I would have liked to see them get trapped inside the ball so we see what the inside is like. You know, that kind of...
Oh, yeah. Well, the trouble is people, the likes of PETA and animal organisations were pulling their hair out from the moment Pokemon was created, and that's just the games. So what I think the filmmakers thought is they needed an entry-level Pokemon for people who didn't understand that this was just humans forcing monsters to fight.
I guess so. Well, it very quickly, in the intro, it very quickly says, in other words, it says, meh, forget about all of that.
Yeah.
Forget everything.
In other regions, look at this awesome thing that's about to happen.
Check out London.
Yeah, check out London.
Yeah.
And that bloke just walking along next to his Charmander.
Yeah, I mean it looked good and the monsters looked great. You pointed out though they obviously didn't have that big a budget because there was only so many Pokemon.
Yes, and I would solve that equation by saying that each region has Pokemon that are exclusive to it. Maybe in Rhyme City, those are the Pokemon that are common in the wild in the surrounding areas, and
There's
that's
a lot
what
of
those Pokemon.
Squirtles.
A lot of Charmanders, a lot of Squirtles.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so.
Pidgeys in abundance. Well, that's normal.
Yeah. Monkeys, there were the monkey ones.
Apoms.
See, this is the thing. I only know the first 151.
I know all of them.
Oh wow! What's 407?
I don't know all the numbers, mate. Come on.
See, I know all the numbers. 151. Yeah.
We learned that in school, don't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. A little poster up in my classroom.
Oh, go on then.
Give me. Okay. Well, I might not be that good. I can probably list them in order. But give me a number, see if I can work it out.
52.
Raichu. No.
Raichu? He's 24.
Voltorb.
No.
What is it?
Voltorb's 99.
Oh, what's 50?
I think. 50. Or is he 100? 52 is somewhere around the Rapidash region, I think. Or maybe...
It's 1/3 in, or is it one of the fighting ones?
52. Meowth.
Oh, that's a surprise, actually. I know 12. Do you know 12?
Okay, so Blastoise is 9. Butterfree.
I think so, yeah.
Woo!
See, I probably know the early ones more than the... 124.
Gyarados?
I feel like that's in the fossil region. Oh.
Kabuto? Jinx?
Oh.
The Pokemon that we shall not speak
The
of.
one we shall not...
The one that almost caused a race war.
Till they made her purple.
Purple, yeah.
It's a domestic abuse war. Anyway, move on.
Back to Pokemon. I would say that the opening scene, when it goes into the very traditional-looking Pokemon town and the Pidgeys are flying along together and you're introduced to the world, was absolutely magical. And the Gengar versus Blastoise fight was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Wanted more of it. They kept switching between the dialogue and going back to it.
Yeah.
And the best bit, which I just wanted to continue, I just wanted to jump into that film, was when they had a reference. When you're saying at the start, in other regions, they have battles.
Yeah.
And there was sort of an amalgamation of Gary or Blue with a Gyarados and an Arcanine.
Yeah.
And then Red rocks up. It has to be Red because he's wearing the whole gear. He's got his Pokeball. What's he going to throw out? And then we've taken away from it. It's like, I want to see what he's got. He's going to have a Charizard.
I think that's probably best left as a reference.
Film in
though,
itself.
Isn't it? Or yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Ryan Reynolds was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that was proper, real, genuine comedy. Very adult, a lot of it.
Yes.
Oh, and you've previously had issues with the
The farting was minimal.
It wasn't as obvious.
No,
I thought in the film.
They toned back on the farting. I think there was one fart, maybe two at the top.
It's just a reference to it, I think.
And given that it's a kids' movie and there's loads of kids in the cinema, the kids enjoy a fart joke, so it's not a big deal. We can give them a fart joke.
Let's mention the kids, actually.
Shut up! Those stupid little...
Well, yes. I mean, yes, shut up. But also, there was at least one kid I could hear, because they were ruddy noisy. There was one I could hear who had no idea what was going on.
Why?
They were asking their parents what was happening. Like,
what's that, mummy?
There's one 2 seats away from me, I think. I think he's right in front of you, actually. He was saying, Mummy, why is that one not talking? And why is that one talking? And the mum's like, I don't know, watch the film.
Didn't you say that one kid said, why does he not have a daddy?
No, yeah, there's a bit of a tragic bit where we find out the main character's an orphan. And the little girl right behind me said, is Mummy and Dad dead? And, oh. And then, random moments throughout the film, out of nowhere, she'll say, is Mummy Dad dead?
Oh
no. One thing to take away from a fun Pokemon film.
Your parents will one day die.
Yeah, nice, isn't it? Speaking of... Oh, sorry. Sequel. How is the sequel going to work?
We can't do it without spoilers.
We can't do it without spoilers, but it can't work. It just can't work.
Unless
they undo the stuff they do in this film.
I googled it yesterday about the sequel.
Yeah.
And one of the people involved with the making of this one said they wanted a Jigglypuff-focused film.
Okay.
So, yeah, but equally, nah. I get it, but it's a whole film. Let's move on. We've got this one out of the way. Let's get into the Pokemon. We don't have to have Jigglypuff walking around solving crimes.
I mean, that's a sentence that does just appeal to me on many levels. Especially if it's film noir Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff. Anyway.
I was singing again in the Velvet Ballroom.
The bra walked into me like a butterfree into my net.
Everyone was falling asleep. Every time.
And that was Tom Hark by the Piranhas.
Ooh, why did we play that?
Because it's the only music piece in Dog Soldiers that was actually usable.
Yeah, everything else was...
sort of rubbish. Dog Soldiers, then.
Yay!
2002. Let's not start on a negative, because we love this film.
Yes, we do. We love this film so much.
Written and directed by Neil Marshall, who was a low budget filmmaker. He now does quite big stuff. Game of Thrones, Lost in Space.
Yeah, just did Hellboy, didn't he?
Just did Hell, yeah. Yeah, we'll move past that. Yeah. What a film.
Yeah, as I said before, we chose this pretty much because we met Sean Pertwee at the weekend.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be our favourite person at the moment.
He's my favourite man, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely. Dog Soldiers is soldiers versus werewolves.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the tagline.
What is the tagline?
Well, it should be that.
6 men, full moon, no chance.
Oh, great.
So this is... I said that with an American accent. I shouldn't have done, because it's the most British film ever.
Do it in a Sean Pertwee accent.
6 men, full moon, no chance.
Better.
What happens in Dog Soldiers?
So we start off with a lovely romantic couple. They're camping, and then the lady says to the man, "Oh, I got you a present. It's this silver knife."
A silver knife?
Whatever could that be used for?
Who knows?
In a film about werewolves.
Yeah. Chekhov's letter opener.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're having a lovely time. They're in the tent. After that, they're canoodling. And then all of a sudden, the zip starts to go up. What's going on there? They're frozen with fear. All of a sudden, the woman is grabbed and lunged halfway out the tent. Cue slashing, ripping, gory noises.
Oh, yes.
And it is heavily implied that she's ripped in half.
Oh, yes.
And the half is left in the body. The man is left frozen in fear whilst snarling and whatnot comes towards him. And boosh, we're in. We're in the film.
We're in the film. Yes, what an opening. We cut straight to Coops in the Scottish Highlands. Coops played by Kevin McKidd.
Yes, and he's been... he's on a mission, and we learned that it's like a training mission. He's top of the class, but eventually gets caught. He's trying to evade capture for as long as possible.
Yeah, he's training with the Special Forces led by
Captain Ryan.
Captain Richard Ryan, played by Liam Cunningham.
Yes, Game of Thrones fans, you'll know him as Sir Davos the Onion Knight, playing the polar opposite character.
He's a wrong 'un, isn't he?
He's a baddie.
He's very much your well-spoken British baddie.
Yes.
To a T.
To a T.
And he does the TV trope cliche of kicking the dog to show that he's a bad guy.
Yeah, except he shoots the dog.
He very much... Metaphors be damned, he literally shoots the dog and shows us that he's a baddie.
Yeah, so we don't like this man straight away.
Yeah, Coops, on the other hand, refuses to do that, and we're on his side.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yeah, and he's punished by, well, you're not joining my team, you're not joining the Special Forces.
Yeah, so he ends up just with basic squaddies, really, in a team of 6 men led by Sergeant Harry G. Wells.
Yes.
Played by Sean Pertwee.
Oh, yes.
You've also got Private Spoonie, played by Darren Morfitt. He's like he cracks jokes and he has fun.
Yeah, he's that one. We've got Private Joe Kirkley, played by Chris Robson, and some other ones, and also Corporal Bruce Campbell.
Corporal Bruce Campbell, yes. Because Dog Soldiers, as openly admitted by Neil Marshall, is reference to everything he ever respected or liked. So the soldiers themselves, their banter is heavily based on his dad and grandfather, who were army men.
That's why all the gallows humour comes into it constantly.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of it as well. You've got references to Evil Dead. You've got Aliens comes up later on. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so in tune with my brain. It might be one of my favourite films of this time.
Agreed.
But yes, we see a squaddy. They're on manoeuvres in the Scottish Highlands.
They're doing some silly training exercise.
Yeah, they're sort of versus the SAS. And while they're navigating the Highlands, they stop around the campfire, and we all get this really nice moment where we all meet all the characters and hear all their stories and get to know everyone. We hear a really harrowing story from Wales. Immediately cut in with a joke from Spoonie. Friendly banter, everyone's friends. And then cow!
Yes, oh my god! Cow from the sky!
A cow falls on the camp.
Yeah.
And they all freak out.
They all go absolutely berserk. And at no point, whilst they're running around, does anyone say, let's go see where that cow came from, which is brilliant. They're just like, right, 2 of you go and look out, you 2, get your heads down. That's it.
Yeah. The cow's been torn apart instantly. It's not been shot or anything. It's been ripped.
Ripped to shreds. And this is following, in a scene prior, what's his face, main character?
Coops.
Coop says before, there's been disappearances, and they've only ever found remains. So they're kind of pegging something up in this neck of the woods.
Yeah. And the next morning, anyway, Wells has a change of heart. Decides he's curious now.
Yeah.
And they decide to follow the trail of blood left by the cow to where it came from.
And that's when they find the ruined site.
They find the SAS camp, where the SAS soldiers have been replaced by puddles of goo.
Yeah, very predatory guts and slimy goo.
Yes, absolutely. Bright, fluorescent puddles of guts and slime and blood. I do wish we watched this a bit earlier, because it might have changed our own horror movie slightly.
The effect I would have taken is when the boot comes up and the slime kind of sticks to the boot.
Oh,
if we could have replicated that.
Oh, we still could.
Yeah.
We still could. They find that all the radios and stuff have been damaged. They find their own radios not working.
Yeah, and they've been chipped, they've been tagged.
They've been bugged.
Yeah.
So something's going on.
Yeah, something out of their hands.
And
this is when an old foe pops out. Captain Ryan, who Coop thought he was well shot of. He just pops out from behind some boxes. He's got a big gash on his face. He's gibberishly talking about...
We thought there'd be only one.
Yeah, we thought there was only one. Only one what?
So they are aware that something's out there. They realise nighttime's falling, so they start moving off. And they move off directly into a Christmas tree area of a garden centre. I mean, not really, but it looks a lot like it. Where they get attacked.
So the first fatality belongs to Bruce Campbell.
Yep.
Who is...
who runs fast enough to impale himself on a branch.
Yeah, like all the way through. And then some.
The whole way.
Yeah. There's a foot or two of branch after his body.
Yeah. He wasn't even running that fast.
He wasn't. He was just sort of skipping along.
He is Bruce Campbell. Wells finds him as he gets attacked himself and gets slashed across the belly.
And we see guts.
Coop,
after this, manages to shoot the attacking werewolf away.
Mm-hmm.
We know now it's a bloody werewolf. So Coop and Wells, they're scarpering away, limping along, and they run into a Range Rover driven by Megan.
Yes.
A curious character.
A curious character who just happens to be in the right place at the right time. So she gathers all the squad up, the remaining squad, and they drive off to a cottage in the woods.
Yes. And the cottage is where the fun begins.
Yes, we spend the rest of the film in this place. The soldiers basically barricade themselves in and try and work out what to do next.
Yes.
Very much Night of the Living Dead sort of style.
100%. Yeah.
It's like barricading the windows, blocking the doors, and counting their bullets, really.
Yeah.
We start to see lots of references to, like, Zulu. There's a speech with Rorke's Drift music playing in the background. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's just kept so British. And then there's this constant football match going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's based around, obviously, England's famous thrashing of Germany 5-1.
Yeah,
as we find out.
That's the background, yeah.
But what does who is it? Is it Spoon?
It's Private Kirkley, Joe. He asked Megan at one point,
"Oh, I wish I knew who won the match. Oh, is there a game on?" It's not a game.
Yeah, that was a big laugh.
Brilliant.
In the room.
So there's all of this Britishness, British manly hooligan soldieriness, sort of personified by Pertwee himself.
Oh yeah,
which just oozes.
Who's manic and swearing, and the language is used in a funny way.
Yes.
There's just these little moments where they just react like you would expect to react yourself.
Oh, massively.
Oh, off.
Yeah.
And one bit when Spoonie's like hammering they're under attack by the werewolves. He's trying to hammer a bit of wood into the door to block it off.
Starts hammering the hands.
A paw comes through the letterbox. He's just hammering the hand. Yeah, it's really... The action's really cool. The action's really interesting, and there's lots of blood and splatter, and it's awesome. But what works really well is equally the low points.
Yes.
Moments of calm.
Definitely. There's the whole thing of being trapped in a cottage with people who want to survive, and then you've got Captain Ryan in a chair who's kind of goading them through.
Getting under their skin.
All the way along. And that rising tension is utterly perfect for a film like this. Yeah. They nailed it, like, beautifully.
Oh, it's absolutely phenomenal, really. I mean, some of the shots were a bit funny, a bit weak. The music's a bit weak, but it all works so well. There's one scene we have to talk about, though.
Oh, yes.
So, Sergeant Wells, has been wounded badly, as we mentioned. Megan and Coops are trying to sew him up with super glue and whiskey.
And he's not enjoying it.
He's really not enjoying it.
I'm assuming this is a deliberate decision where the director said, let's get Pertwee absolutely wasted for this scene. Because that's what they did.
Yes. Well, we know he was drunk.
Yeah.
He may not... It may have been that it's low-budget filmmaking. The whiskey bottle was just whiskey.
Yeah.
And he had to drink so much. And he's basically, the pain's too much, so he asked Coops to punch him out. And the first punch was a stage punch. And then he comes back, and he punches him again. And that time, he really hit him in the face.
Right on the nose.
But he didn't notice, because he was smashed.
Fantastic. Amazing.
But watching that scene with that knowledge changes it completely. It's amazing. Can I play a clip of that bit?
Just do it.
All right.
I'll tell you what, I love him. I love you like the mate that I love.
Would you like to be alone?
Oh, yeah. That's it.
I'll stick. You bomb.
I'll tell you something. Something better stuck in suitcases, it really starting to hurt. Cooper. Knock me out! Hit me! Oh, yeah. See, hit me!
They were interesting. Well, I actually really loved the design of the werewolf in this, but it's not like... They're not manly. They're quite swanky and...
They're very long and thin and...
effeminate sort of thing.
Yeah, they're very lithe. They look like dancers.
Yeah, they're kind of controlled by a top-heavy sway, which makes them... I wouldn't say... I mean, they are comedic, but...
I don't think they are. I think they're actually quite sinister for what they are.
Yeah, I mean...
They're very otherworldly.
I suppose, yeah, you add the otherworldliness to the fact that they cause absolute carnage and rip somebody's soldiers to shreds. That's where the fear comes.
Yeah.
That's where they become sinister.
Well, part of what makes it so good as well is this was 2002, and the filmmakers were sick of all the CGI in films, so they went out of their way to make costumes for people with animatronic faces. That was 2002.
And it made... I wouldn't want to watch this film if it was CGI.
No.
It's the fact that you can touch them, the fact that they look real, the fact that they're there. It makes it what it is.
Yes.
You know, absolutely no chance for CGI for me in this. And modern filmmakers should take note, I think.
This is a film that, as low-budget filmmakers ourselves, this is like the gold standard.
Yes.
Regardless of all other cinema, this is something you can achieve. And to be fair, I think it stands out as one of the best British horror movies ever.
Yes, definitely. Because they nailed everything. I mean, the music aside.
Yeah, the music was lame. There were scenes where there probably should have been music, but there wasn't.
Yeah. But the characters, the dialogue, the baddie, the monsters, every single aspect of this film was done perfectly for what it is.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, couldn't recommend it more.
Watch this film. If you haven't seen it, why not?
Yeah.
If you have seen it, watch it again. It's awesome.
Yes. I would say this should probably go into the Holiday Media Hall of Fame.
I think so. It's also a bit quaggers.
Yes.
I mean...
It's very
not deliberately.
No.
Maybe subconsciously. Let's put on a song you've chosen.
Yes. I remember someone singing this at the HorrorCon karaoke. It is in Eurotrip and other films. 99 Luftballons by Nina.
Yeah. I feel it in my throat. I feel it in my eyes. Pollen is all around me. Why can't these flowers die?
Screen Bucket on North Herts FM. Beep boop.
You have one message. Message 1.
Hello, it's James from Team Rocket here. Just a quick word to say that I found it very offensive that I wasn't in Pokemon Pikachu. I mean, the Pikachu is mine. Isn't that right, Jesse?
Yes, the Pikachu is ours! We'll get that stupid swab next time!
Ooh, what a delicious idea, Jesse. Let's work our way into Ryan Reynolds' kitchen, and then we can find a Pikachu.
Yes!
Nick's Game Reviews. Rage 2. When Rage 2 was first announced, we all wondered why. The first Rage was not a huge success by any stretch of the imagination. Some liked it, but most felt it was boring, empty, and not very well made, with little to no story. The last time I played it, I glitched and fell through the floor into some underground cavern. That's how badly made it was. But the trailer for Rage 2, and every trailer since, has been full of bombast and mayhem, with bright colours and great music. The complete opposite, right? Well, upon starting Rage 2, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Bethesda had made the game look way more fun in the trailers than in the game itself. The opening mission was very basic, and every now and then you'd be introduced to a new character, and there'd be a Guy Ritchie-style introductory freeze frame. In all honesty, it feels like you're at Chessington World of Adventures, with a tour guide telling you just how fun everything is, when last year you were at Alton Towers and you know what real fun actually is. But you're being polite to the tour guide in the hope that maybe the really fun stuff is just around the corner. In this analogy, Alton Towers is Doom 2016. So I stuck with Rage 2, hoping beyond hope that the trailers would prove truthful. And oh boy, they really do. Thing is, it takes a while. The more you play, the more skills and weapons you unlock, and the more ways you find to kill the enemies. The game doesn't just give you everything and say go for it, which is what I expected when I started playing it. No, it gives you the opportunity to play around with each ability and weapon before it gives you the next one, so that you can get some skill together and work out the best ways to use those abilities and weapons. And that is what makes Rage 2 such a wonderful game. The storyline is good, not great, but who cares? I bought this game because I wanted to blow limbs off with my shotgun, chop heads off with my wing stick, and punch the face off a mutie as he flies through the air at me. Don't judge me. The map isn't very big compared to the likes of Assassin's Creed or Witcher 3, but it uses the space well, packing it full of fun activities that are, for the most part, varied enough and interesting enough to not feel like you are repeating the same activities over and over. The combat is fluid and mad, the driving is exhilarating, and the vehicle combat is very, very Mad Max, as expected. So far so good, right? Well, there is one thing that is a really big negative with this game. The bugs. There are a crazy amount of issues. I've had crashes, I've had audio problems, I've had issues where I couldn't complete missions because the dialogue action button wouldn't activate. I've had instances where I've completed all requirements for a location to be complete, but I've had to relaunch the game for it to register. There is clipping to no end, enemies popping in and out of existence, explosions in the middle of the road but no vehicle to cause it. In almost all cases where a bug occurs, I've had to relaunch the game. That makes it game-breaking on an epic scale. For a team like id Software, this is mad. Compare it to Doom and the latest Wolfenstein games, and they are polished to an exceptional level. Still, would I recommend this game? Yes. Do I think Bethesda need to sort their out? Oh yes.
Please, sir.
What is it, boy?
Please, can you sponsor us?
What?
You could sponsor a show on North Herts FM that's made for the community, by the community. And let us keep making great content. We're a fledgling station, but one with over 10,000 listeners a month. And it keeps growing.
And what's in it for me?
5 adverts a day, sir. Plus, the world will get to see your branding at live events, online, and be proudly displayed alongside the show you choose to sponsor on all online content, plus on-air mentions and branding. It won't even be taken out of the shows on Listen Again, so your brand will be out there forever.
Then how much is that going to cost me?
Only £360 a year, sir, or £30 a month if you just want to run adverts instead of a full sponsor.
It isn't more?
No, sir. Just head to northhertsfm.com for more information, or get in touch on Twitter or Facebook.
This is brilliant. Show for sale, show for sale.
Oh, hello. Buenas noches, Salt in it, put the salt in it. Sí. Buenas noches.
Jump in my car. I wanna take you home. Come on and jump in my car. It's waiting for the walk on your own.
Hollow Dell Media's Screen Bucket with Adam and Rob.
Boo! Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah, that was pretty much the scare maze. Yeah.
Yes, the scare maze at Sheffield was built up a little bit, wasn't it?
Yes, I've done something similar. I did something called Fear Factory in New Zealand, which was absolutely terrifying. This was a bit sillier. So
it was so much sillier.
Oh, God.
So it was a small sort of tent in the opening bit of HorrorCon. We paid to get in.
£3 each.
We had to follow blindfolded, we had to follow a string around a maze where spooky things will happen to you.
Yeah, there was a man constantly shouting at us, which I think was the zombie who scared me before. And then there was a girl joined in.
There's a girl zombie, there was a clown, Was that it? Was there someone else?
There might have been something else.
Yeah, so we had different experiences. You were at the front of the line. I was at the
front,
back.
yeah.
So tell us what happened to you.
At one point, so I was pulling myself along on this rope, completely blindfolded.
Yep.
There was things attacking us, there's things touching us, which I hate. And then I assumed I was going the right way following the rope, and then I knocked into something, and this massive crash happened. Something sounded like it shattered. Something broke, and I was like, ooh, 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 ooh. Was that meant to happen? And then they kind of awkwardly got over it. Went, no, this way. You know. So then we just kept on going, and then
you broke their lunch.
Probably. Right at the end, they said, "No, grab my rope." And so I grabbed it, and it was something plastic and naffy. And then a chainsaw sound began, and then they turned all the lights on. This is when they took the things off of us.
Okay.
And he had the chainsaw.
Did you not go on the chair?
I didn't get on a chair.
Okay.
You got on a chair?
Yeah, so here's what happened to me.
Right.
So you and Josh walked off.
Oh my God, left you.
I didn't realise you walked off, blindfolded. So I stood there for a while. That's when I heard the smash. And I heard a voice behind me. Come on, keep up. So I started walking along. And I was following the rope. Nothing really happened, because presumably they were attacking you.
Yeah.
I think I then caught up with you because I bumped. I think we touched hand.
Right.
Because I remember a moment where is that you? Yeah, it's me. Then I lost the rope.
Oh God. Yeah, that happened to me as well.
I think it might have been deliberate.
Right.
I lost the rope and I just sort of stood there. What to do? And then these guiding hands appeared on my shoulders and I heard a voice. Very League of Gentlemen voice.
You seem a bit lost. Come on, let's go this way.
Led me out, spun me around a couple of times, sat me in a rocking chair, said,
sit down.
And then all these sort of claws were sort of going on my body, like breaking my skin. Quite nice. I quite liked it. It was fine. And they were like whispering your mind in.
Are you having a good time? Are you having a good time?
Yes, it's rather nice.
Oh my God.
And then they got me up and led me straight to the blindfold with the chainsaw bit.
Right, okay.
I had a really nice experience.
They
gave me a massage.
Yeah, that's amazing. It was pleasant.
It was pleasant. I walked out of that feeling quite happy.
Yeah, I left feeling exhilarated and cheery, and you got a massage. I smashed something. Yeah.
I mean, it sums it all up, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh well. Let's play Que Sera Sera by Doris Day.
Yeah.
Hollow Dell Media's Screen Bucket with Adam and Rob.
Before we kick off with the fun stuff, we just want to pay our respects to Doris Day, who at time of recording passed a few days back. True legend of song and screen. Pillow Talk, The Glass Bottom Boat, Love Me or Leave Me, Love Her Come Back. I must confess I'm not overly familiar with her films, although she is a true icon.
Yes, she was one of the first sort of strong-willed women on screen, I believe. A lot of her characters wouldn't fall for the cad scoundrel types. She would know when to move away, and yeah, just a class act all round.
Oh, fantastic. Setting standards for today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
A lot of tributes from some pretty famous people as well. Well respected.
Moving on. Welcome to Fortnite Schmortnight. What should we kick off with? I'll tell you what we'll kick off with. Midsummer. So, a new trailer has been released. For those who don't know, Midsummer is brought to us by the same people who did Hereditary.
The best film of 2018.
No. Yeah, I did not fare well with that at the cinema, as old listeners will know. Screwed me up something rotten.
PTSD, I think they call it.
Yeah. This time around, they're giving a story about 4 20-something Americans, one of which is played by the mighty Will Poulter of Bandersnatch fame.
Eyebrows.
Yeah, so they go to a sort of pagan Swedish cult festival.
A real thing?
Yeah.
Incidentally.
Yeah, which is terrifying. It seems like it's all dancing and blue skies and magical drinks at first, but then it gets a bit weird. There's a disemboweled bear on a table. They're tripping out. It's all going wrong. But I'm going to take a chance and watch this at the cinema because it looks a bit silly.
Silly is an interesting term, I think.
Do you reckon?
I reckon it's going to be It's going to be sort of a modern...
like Wicker Man or something?
Wicker Man, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. It's also starring Florence Pugh.
Oh, yes. Who's
who
that?
Who is a rather good actress. English. She was in Fighting With My Family. She's really, really good.
Oh, okay.
And I was watching the trailer like, I know her. And it was really, really bugging me. I had to look her up.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a try because even the trailer of Hereditary scared me, and this didn't, so I think I might be alright.
Okay, alright, yeah.
But yeah.
Might be in for a shock. I'm looking forward to this one a lot.
Disney.
Disney.
So they're flinging CGI remakes at us like flaming ape turds at the moment, aren't they? So Jungle Book, Lion King, Aladdin, and this is the first I've heard of it. They're doing 101 Dalmatians.
What? Why?
Which really annoys me because they've already got one. 1996. Fantastic. Live action 101 Dalmatians.
Do you know what bugs me about stuff like this, and Jungle Book as well, is you're just replacing animation with animation.
Yeah,
I don't see the point.
But this one, this is like the third one.
Yeah.
And Emma Thompson is playing Cruella de Vil, right?
Ooh. Interesting choice.
Yeah, you say that, but Glenn Close was Cruella de Vil. Did you ever watch that film?
Yeah.
She was the embodiment of that character.
Do you know who I always imagined as Cruella de Vil?
What?
Who was the neighbour in Birds of a Feather?
Oh, that really crowy one.
Yeah.
Yes.
That in my head, she is Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, she'd be very good.
I can't remember her name now. Doris.
I don't know if there's any Mortal Kombat fans out there. Huh? Yeah. There's
Tim Allen in it.
I didn't know about this either, but James Wan is directing, which I think is a really good combination. So you've got Saw.
So wait, what? Mortal Kombat film?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Film of Mortal Kombat. James Wan, director of Saw and Aquaman. So you got what Mortal Kombat is essentially strong fighty man combined with intense horrific gore. So it's kind of like the perfect director they've chosen.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. And he's got like Fast and Furious 7 under his belt as well. So he's a well-equipped director for the task. Do you like a good fatality?
Fatality. Yeah, I do. Do you know what I always preferred though?
What?
A little man who pops up.
Oh yeah.
If he's voiced by Ryan Reynolds, I'm in.
Oh yeah. Well, he's doing everything right now, isn't he? Speaking of beat 'em ups, have you seen a new Black Mirror trailer?
I have.
Very good.
Yeah.
Or do you not really know what's going on enough to be able to judge whether it's good or not?
Well, part of that, but I do wonder if Black Mirror is starting to lose relevance.
I think it should come to a close to keep its goodness intact.
Because a lot of people complained last time that it was a bit too American-y.
Yeah.
And it's even more now.
The reason I said the beat 'em up thing, there's a weird bit where I think they're in some better than life Tekken thing where they're
totally
fighting each other.
I got Ready Player One vibes.
Yeah. But it's got some big stars in it. It's got Andrew Scott, Anthony Mackie. Which one's the one who was in Sherlock? Andrew Scott? Why not?
Yeah.
He's very good.
He is very good. Moriarty.
Yeah, Moriarty. Yeah, he's going to be one. And he's getting fed up with people using phones all the time. He just loses it. I love that.
You know, the best thing I was showing that trailer to Josh, and he was texting. So it's like...
How ironic. What's going on? And Miley Cyrus. I hear when the producers asked her if she wanted to be involved, she came in like a wrecking ball.
We're not playing Wrecking Ball.
It's the perfect perfect setup.
No, we're not playing Wrecking Ball.
It's a good song.
You can play it at home if you want.
I will play it at home. Play your stupid other
We're going to
Black Mirror song.
The music from the trailer, Lonely Feelings by...
I came in like a wreck.
Jibmo.
A nasty bunch of wrong uns there, filthy online trolls. They'll tell you that you're ugly, but take it on the nose. You'll see their insults coming, alerts will come at once, but you really need not worry, 'cause they're all a bunch of...
Welcome back to the podcast. Adam,
Yes.
As when this comes out, Game of Thrones would have finished. At our point of recording, we still have one episode to go. The last episode did not go down well with a lot of people.
No, I've heard.
People were annoyed with certain plot strands that got sort of buried. They didn't like demises of certain people. They didn't like certain decisions that were taken within the course of the story. So much so that they did something, didn't they, the fans?
Yeah, the fans.
Some of the fans.
Inverted comma, yeah. So, being someone who's not really familiar with Game of Thrones properly, I've still picked up quite a lot of disappointment and how things seem a bit rushed.
Yeah.
So, and partly because, presumably, there's no book. There's no book to fall back on.
I was saying this earlier, yeah. They don't have source material, so they're winging it, and they've crammed what should have been a 10-episode series into 6 episodes for this one, and everything feels extremely rushed.
Yeah. That's pretty much the reason behind this petition. On change.org right now, there's Remake Game of Thrones Season 8 with competent writers.
I mean, put your handbags away.
Well,
with competent writers this time.
Let me read the thing.
David Benioff and D.B. Weiss have proven themselves to be woefully incompetent writers when they have no source material to fall back on. Subvert my expectations and make it happen, HBO.
Subvert my expectation.
Currently, as of recording, there are 851,071 people that have signed this petition.
All right.
When I first found this, it was 200.
Here's the thing, right? It is rushed. They have made mistakes, but it wasn't terrible. Some of it was absolutely incredible. They have made some errors, and it's not the worst thing in the world by any stretch of the imagination. I really enjoyed the last episode. Maybe in my head I was expecting things to go a bit differently, more character involvement, more of a fight, but...
Yeah. Do you know, I've just read on.
There is so much awful crap going on in the world to escape into things like Star Wars and Game of Thrones. We fans invested a wealth of passion and time into the series. I've been watching religiously since season 2 myself. I've read all the books and eagerly await the next 2. I love the story, and I, like most of you, was crushed to see how the last season, and season 7, let's be real, has been handled.
Oh, for the love of God, get a life and go outside.
Seriously, this is ridiculous.
It's a TV show. It's awesome. It's amazing. We love it. But come on.
In closing, I didn't make this petition to be entitled Whiny Fan. I made it because I was immensely disappointed and needed to vent. Do I have a solution? I've got plenty of ideas. But no.
Oh, and Annie, thank you everyone for signing this silly thing, as if to say... God, you know.
It's the same with the Star Wars one as well. The thing is, if you don't like something, make it yourself.
I do a bit of fan fiction.
That's how George R.R. Martin probably started. He just wrote the thing that he liked. Just shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, so lame.
Fans are the worst people. Genuinely, fans are the worst people. It's the casuals you want.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on that?
Just take it. It's all right. It's not the ending we would have wanted, maybe, but it's fine.
Yeah. But whatever. Let's go back to the show.
I'm just a sweet screen bucket.
Adam's film reviews. John Wick 3, Parabellum, 2019.
Jonathan, what have you done?
To dream the impossible dream.
There's no escape for you. The high table wants your life.
To right the unrightable wrong.
Tell me what you want.
Passage.
I can't help you.
To reach the unreachable star.
Do you expect him to make it out? A $14 million bounty on his head. And everyone in the city wants a piece of it. I say the odds are about even. Dark, 5 seconds.
John Wick, excommunicado in effect in 3, 2, 1.
And away we go.
John Wick 3 Parabellum is the third instalment in the John Wick franchise. Directed by Chad this happens every week. Stahelski, John Wick 3 kicks off immediately after the end of Chapter 2, a film I found fairly dull and repetitive until the final 10 minutes. Here, John is branded excommunicado. Essentially, he's outlawed from the criminal underworld, losing all privileges and access to support from a global network of wrong-uns. With a vast bounty on his head, John disappears into the New York streets, aware of hundreds of eyes watching his every step. Parabellum does not ease you in gently. This is the situation John is in, and Christ almighty, that's where the audience starts too. We are almost immediately ushered in to the ultra-violent and shockingly brutal violence as John is confronted by hitman after hitman. The moment he takes one down, he turns a corner and bang, he's facing down another gang of hired goons. Whether he's in the New York Public Library, a mysterious set of stables in the middle of Manhattan, or just walking on the street, he's facing extreme odds, and we're with him for every blow. Along the way though, John is able to pick up a handful of items, including a crucifix necklace that he takes to a mysterious director, a woman who is implied raised John, or at the very least trains him in his fighting prowess. Trading in the crucifix, John is given transportation to Casablanca, Morocco, where he sets out to meet another old acquaintance to help track down the one man who might be able to undo the mess John has found himself in, known only as the Elder. Meanwhile, back in New York, an agent of the High Table has begun to track and punish anyone seen to have helped John in his quest for revenge across the earlier films. But as the pieces on the chessboard fall into place, John teams up with yet another mysterious woman from his past. This time, Sophia, a woman who owes a debt and also happens to participate in the best action sequence I've seen in years. Just a question, why on earth would the military in Jurassic World want to train velociraptors for war when dogs are clearly the ultimate killing machine already? But that's sort of it really. I can't describe every action sequence in the film to you, apart from to say that John Wick is a masterpiece in choreography. Tempos switch and change before, after and during each savage fight to the death, with some quick laughs and some disturbingly accurate crunches here and there. Also, John Wick, though mostly infallible, does fail a bit in this film. He does get beaten up, and I appreciate that. Actually, that's something to say as well. This is a film that's made for its sound design. Every moment, every twist of the knife is accompanied by fierce and deliberate sound, and it made me grin from ear to ear. This is a film that's 90% sound effects. The other 10% is, as far as I can tell, smashing glass. I wouldn't want it any other way. If I had to find a low point, it would be the moment that John sets out into the desert. The filmmakers may as well put a sign up that said, now was the time to go on a toilet break, but this is quickly put back in its place the moment we return to New York. So, no harm done. Honestly, this is a film you need to go and see in the cinema. You don't even need to have seen the first two. Just be prepared to deal with some very savage violence right off the bat.
We're not going in like the old days. Just a conversation.
Nothing's ever just a conversation with you, John.
You have one message. Message 1.
What's happening, Bohemian Rhapsody? Is this your man Carthop? I just thought a really cool, rad new idea for a movie. Lost Boys, go surfing. We're gonna be hunting vampires on the waves, bro. We're gonna be surfing. There's gonna be vampire sharks. There's gonna be vampire surfers. But then we'll ride the vampire sharks and we'll kill the vampires with them. It's gonna be totally radical, dude. Hit me up. I'm gonna be at the next HorrorCon. I'm gonna be promoting the movie. I love you all. Watch my video. Watch my glittery jacket. I love you all. Peace out, man.
HorrorCon.
More HorrorCon.
More HorrorCon. Yeah, we're gonna keep flinging them out.
Yeah.
One of my favourite cult actors was present. I initially went with the intention of getting a picture of him or something.
Yeah, but...
Queues.
And money.
Queues, money, no.
Yeah.
But what we did get a freebie of was a Q&A session.
Yes.
And in he came like a golden Christmas decoration, glittery and tinsely, with aviators on or some form of high-end sunglasses.
I have to say, he fit my vision of him to a T.
Absolutely.
That was what I imagined a mental Hollywood person would look like.
100%, yes.
When he sat down and started talking, he was much more charming than I expected.
Very charming, very likeable, very nice. Very humble as well.
Very humble. And also, I noticed that he almost sounded British.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was, like, emulating the interviewer.
Yeah, perhaps.
Like, just puts on these things.
Actoring.
Yeah. No, he was really interesting, and his insight into some of the films he worked on was really quite impressive.
He talked about one which was he flew over to Spain and it was all Spanish cast and crew called The Birthday, which I'd never heard of before.
No, no one had.
And it's one of his proudest projects. And he was talking about how it was set in America, so he had to kind of help them with American culture to sort of make the film more real, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah. That was cool. But now it's still, you can't really find it anywhere.
No,
he recommended we go to Amazon.de, the German Prime site, to watch it. Yeah. And that was prompted by an audience question, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he asked, stick your hands up if you've heard of this film, and they were the only two people.
Yeah, and he said, well, marketing team. Yeah. It was interesting hearing about his experience on The Burbs.
Yeah, he didn't enjoy it.
He hated it. Not so much because of the environment, but because he felt outclassed. That's the vibe I got.
So he was working with some really, quite
Tom
famous...
Hanks. That's the big one, isn't it?
Yeah. And some of which had done Saturday Night Live or something like that, and they were just laying out zingers like nothing.
And Corey, what have you got?
I don't know, I'm playing a stoner.
Yeah, I act. All I do is act. Yes. But during the audience questions, I put my hand up. And the man running the show, he pointed at me, but Corey already started talking to someone else.
Yeah.
Which is the worst thing, because I had the ultimate question.
What were you going to ask?
I was going to ask, Corey, how much involvement did you have in Ascension Millennium? You weren't aware of it until earlier, were you?
No, so Adam just showed me Corey Feldman's music career in one video. A single shot, 4.5 minute day in the life of Corey Feldman. He wakes up in bed with one gorgeous woman, and then another gorgeous woman appears in another room. He walks them downstairs to like a pool party via Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Who's poring over a map and then uses an inhaler, a la Goonies. And then very badly choreographed moves, some weird Michael Jackson bit where no one's doing the same thing.
No, everyone's doing a different dance.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do one take, fair enough. You might have to do it a few times. Did they just do it once?
Yeah, they did. The camera's constantly going out of focus. There's a bit when they first go outside where the kid's head is halfway off the camera.
Yeah. The camera doesn't know where it's pointing at.
Yeah. Then someone makes a chef with a chef hat is in his kitchen. Makes him some egg, and he sits and watches the TV, and then goes up to bed with the woman.
Oh, via a green screen room where he's playing with his band, who look bored.
Yeah.
Bored and disinterested.
They're not on the stage.
Yeah, the stage is in the background.
What?
So I wanted to ask him how much creative involvement he had in that. And we'll never know.
No.
Never know. But we will know what the song sounds like.
Play it.
Ascension Millennium.
Screen Bucket on North Herts FM. Beep boop.
Jason or Freddy?
Freddy.
Michael Myers or Freddy?
Freddy.
Jigsaw?
Freddy.
Okay.
Freddy.
All right. Fair enough. I agree.
Good. Yeah.
Freddy Krueger might be my favourite classic slasher horror character.
Yes, he's
without a doubt.
Certainly the most charismatic of all of them.
Yeah, he's charming, he's funny, he's sassy.
Yep.
He has some of the best quotes.
Definitely.
And I do like a chatty villain, I think. Doesn't really get into his full role, though, until...
Dream Warriors?
Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, correct. There's a story about a bunch of kids who, locked up in an insane asylum, basically team up and try to fight Freddy.
Such a cool idea.
So you've got one kid who loves D&D, he becomes a wizard to fight him off. You've got another character called Taryn, who becomes like a sort of Mad Maxy punk woman, warrior woman.
Yeah, I've
Taryn.
seen the pictures.
Yeah, played by Jennifer Rubin.
We know her now, don't we?
We do know her now, don't we? Yes.
We do know.
We do know. Yes. What? She was at HorrorCon last weekend.
So you showed me some clips for research purposes.
Yes. Research purposes. Yes.
Did you have a massive research purpose for her
Throughout
as a
my
teenager?
teens? Yes, indeed. I had a thorough.
Did you have a raging research purpose?
Robbing research purpose. We sort of expected, hopefully, we'd get a photo with her, maybe, or something signed, or something. Yeah. But again, time, key, money.
That's the equation, isn't it? That you can't get around.
Absolutely.
Unless you go to a karaoke after party.
When we were sitting outside the bar, enjoying some of the sunshine, I see someone I know. A girl called Holly. I know her from Instagram. She's in like a horror community. Walking in with Ed O'Neill.
The Texas Chainsaw Man.
The hitchhiker from the Texas, who had the best Q&A of the entire weekend.
Oh, fascinating dude.
And talking about indie filmmaking, talking about the horrors and nightmares of making Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, so good.
Really spoke to us, I think, especially. So she comes in with him. She sits in the bar. I see Sean Pertwee come and sit with her and her mum. What? So I walked over and said, What are you doing? How did you walk in with Ed O'Neill and Sean Pertwee comes to you to talk to you?
Yeah.
And she said, it's more than that. Turn around. And there was Jennifer Rubin on a table.
Yeah. What's going on? What is going on with this night?
One of the weirdest nights ever.
Yeah, weirdest, most fantastic. So at this point, the drinks are flowing and we're getting to the line I like to call karaoke confidence line. When you cross that bar and you're ready to jot the name down.
All right, yeah.
Josh put me down. He tried to put me down for Venga Boys, but instead put me down for Come On Eileen.
Yep.
Quite disastrous, but we'll move past it. Then you crack on with Jump in My Car.
Again, another Josh voluntary job.
Yeah, and then a wild card song happens where it was going to be someone else, then you forced Josh's name into it.
Yeah, so there was a competition to win a DVD copy of Mandy, which I've reviewed on the show before, and a pin badge that I'm very jealous of.
Nicolas Cage pin.
The competition was to do a wild card where they pick the song, you sing it, you get a copy of Mandy. Someone else was going to go forward, but I managed to persuade the guy to pick Josh, because I think they were aware that he kept putting us down.
Right.
So they got him on. And he got Purple Rain, Prince. And it said on the karaoke screen, in the style of Prince. And I said that to Josh. And the guy said, no. Any style you want. And he chose a style.
He chose Blood Metal Satanist. And went full pelt.
Full pelt.
Purple rain! Purple rain!
The crowd were going insane, but his biggest fan, and he won her heart, was Jennifer Rubin.
Yeah, she actually took my phone off me to record Josh with me laughing in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, won the hearts and minds of the entire crowd. So we ended up talking to Jennifer Rubin because she was so amazed at our performance. So much so when we then did Bohemian Rhapsody as a group,
she loved it.
She absolutely loved it. And she came and talked to us more. And we then got into a full conversation with Jennifer Rubin.
I wish I could remember the conversation because I was so drunk.
It went everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. She's got a very varied background. She does a lot by the sounds of it. Mind-blowing. I can't even get over it.
Talking to this icon of horror movies. And she was so wonderful. That was the greatest thing.
She's just one of us, it felt like. She was as drunk as we were.
We were drunkenly saying, I remember drunkenly saying to you guys afterwards, oh, do you know what? We should go and visit her in LA. Do you think if we're in the neighbourhood, we'll just call her up and be like, Jennifer, can we come over? And then I woke up the next day.
I forgot about that conversation.
Yeah, and I was like, no, let's definitely not do that. God.
Oh, God. Yeah, what a weird...
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Although, did you hear that guy try to undermine us?
Yeah, I remember you saying...
Some guy took offence to us. He pulled Jennifer away and said, these guys are full of it.
Yeah.
And she came back to me and went, that guy just said you're all full of it. I said, what? Never seen this guy before in my life. He was sort of trying to downplay us because presumably we were talking to a celeb.
No, I think it was that, and we were the bells of the ball. We did so well.
Maybe overstating
No,
it
we were
slightly.
the bells of the ball, apart from the celebrities, because we did so good at the karaoke.
We did have a woman come up to us and say, you guys need to come back.
Yeah, that's what we want to hear.
Every week. And we're like, you live in Hertfordshire, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
she said, I don't put it against you.
That northern humour.
Yeah.
We had the most incredible time, and then, I mean, we haven't even spoken about almost knocking out a comic book salesman with a microphone.
Yeah.
But
well, I tell you what, I'm going to put a video together and put it on our Holodeck Media YouTube channel, so you might even be able to see it.
Witness the carnage that was HorrorCon through our lens.
I'll obviously be promoting it on Twitter, so look out for it, I guess.
Yeah.
There was another weird thing, though.
What was that?
Well, we've been making a film, haven't we? A horror film.
Yeah, horror film.
The reason we went up there was and I was mulling over some soundtrack ideas, and one of them was Swamp Thing by The Grid.
Oh, this was weird.
A sort of techno banjo 90s thing.
Very obscure.
It is, but it's, I mean, yeah, pretty much. And I was suggesting it for a scene that's particularly harrowing as a sort of comedy juxtaposition thing. On Saturday, we were having some early lunch, in the canteen, and Josh just perks his ears up and says, Adam, what's this song playing in the background? We could just hear banjos.
Insane. The
song I suggested as a joke for our horror film was playing at HorrorCon.
A sign from Satan himself.
A sign of destiny. So much so I'm going to put it on right now.
Oh, yes.
Swamp Thing by The Grid.
You have one message. Message 1.
Hello, Screen Bucket. It's Freddy Krueger here. I just want to apologize for not showing up at HorrorCon. I know there was one little kid in a sort of hat, but it wasn't the same. There were loads of Jasons. Don't like Jason. Loads of Michaels with his stupid accent. And there was that Dream Warrior there. She was a bit off-putting, but it was all a bit... It wasn't so fun. It wasn't fun enough. Anyway, next year, we'll switch it about a bit. Maybe you can go as Freddy, and I'll just possess you. How about that? Anyway, catch you later.
And that was the show. A very
Screen
short
Bucket
show.
on North Herts
Yes.
FM.
Our new
People.
format is not quite used to it.
Yeah, well, screw it, man. We're big now.
We've got to evolve and sort of find our way,
We can do what we want. We're friends with Sean Pertwee and Jennifer Rubin.
Yeah, a bit shorter, a bit more snappy.
Yeah.
Hopefully you liked it. Do give us some feedback, though, and let us know how you felt it went. I think we're entering into a time when we're going to start playing with the format to find what works a bit more.
Yeah.
I think we got into a routine before that felt a bit slow.
Sluggish.
Yes. I did like the quiz we did last week. Maybe we should do more
Yeah, we'll
of
do
that.
some more quizzes, do some more fun stuff. And we're going to be getting more guests on.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, there's one really pressing one that I need to sort out very soon.
Yes, do that.
Big one. Big name.
Mm.
Yeah. So, is there anything we're looking forward to?
Yeah, obviously you just reviewed it, but I really enjoyed Detective Pikachu. But it wasn't perfect. I will admit that it wasn't perfect. But,
I think it was... Well, yeah, you've heard it already.
Yeah.
It just wasn't what I thought it'd be.
What I would briefly say about it is the opening scene where you're following the Pidgeys and Pidgeotos and Pidgeots, and it's in that little town.
Yes.
That, I was like...
Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that.
But coming up is the only other film that I put in that tier of excitedness for the rest of the year, for me, Godzilla. I'm a big Godzilla man.
Are you?
I'm a big Godzilla man.
Oh, Rob.
He's Godzilla.
Robert.
Oh dear, borderline. borderline. But yeah, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
100%.
That's what. When's that coming out?
I could say May 25th, but I could be lying.
If it's May 25th, that's the same date as the new series of Archer that's set in space.
What else is May the 25th?
Oh. Yeah. So, we've been making a horror film, and we've been using actors for the last 2 shoot dates.
2 shoots.
The first shoot got rained off, so we couldn't finish it on the night. So we put it off a bit, and now it's coming up. The 25th, the final shoot date.
Yeah, a week away, man. As you'll be hearing it, it'll be 2 days away.
Yes.
On the first playing of this show. We are the least prepared we've been so far. We're going to do well.
I've got to say, though, we shouldn't be too scared, because we were going to film this on the first night.
This is true.
I mean, we've made some changes to what we're doing. I guess there's that. And if anything, this is an insurance night, because we can now reshoot some bits.
Yep, it's all good.
That didn't come out properly. So I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
And then after that, we get into the puppets. And that's where things are going to be a real learning curve, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Mom. I just turned off. I just went.
Yes, and I think we'll be talking a bit more about puppetry and effects later on. Until then, do check us out at Holodale Media on Twitter for more updates. Because we'll be posting all sorts of stuff as we do it. So if you're interested in our filmmaking, head over there. Okay, so we've tried to have themed episodes with a couple ones slipping between. We've got some planned up ahead in the future to match sort of timings and things and holidays and festivals. But in between, I've got an idea, Rob.
Oh, go on.
I think we should try and challenge ourselves to meet the theme requirements. I'm thinking you should go over to that bookcase behind me.
Okay.
Choose a book, any book. Just fill in the gap. Doop de doop 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 doop. I bought a Razorhead poster in one of the antique shop places in Hitchin. Really good, really impressive. Anyway, Rob's chosen a book. What have you chosen, Rob?
I've chosen Coward on the Beach by James Dellingpole.
Very good. It's a sort of slightly tongue-in-cheek World War II action story.
Yeah.
I want you to flick through the pages of this book, and I shall say stop.
Oh.
Stop. And then run your finger over the lines until you find a word. Stop.
Oily-sized.
Oily. Oil.
Oil.
The theme of the next show will be oil.
Ah.
And it's your pick. So Rob's going to go away and have a think about an oil film for us to watch and discuss in the next show.
Do we have, just as a quick one, does the whole thing have to be about oil? Can it just be the film? I don't want us to pick oil.
I think just
Imagine picking 10 oil songs.
Oil. Greasy lover.
Grease. Just Grease the musical.
Well, you've got Greasy Strangler.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh. Okay, that was the show.
Yes, it was. What a lovely show it was.
Yes, lots of HorrorCon chat.
And I hope we have persuaded you to join us in embarking on the quest up to Sheffield come 2020.
Yes, indeed. And do check out our behind-the-scenes-y video that will be on the Holodale Media YouTube channel. And we'll be promoting it all over Twitter. So make sure you're following us at screen_bucket on Twitter and also at Holodale Media if you want to see more of what we're up to.
Yes, please do. Please do. Please do.
Anything
please
else?
Do.
Anything else?
Matt from Electric Blacks here. Come and say hello.
Hey.
That'll do.
Yeah.
That's a plug, right?
Cheers, man.
He lives in the cupboard.
Yeah, we keep him here.
He never left.
I'm trying to sleep.
Shut up! Get back in your cave!
Yeah, tune in to the next episode where we'll be talking about our final actor and actress shoot.
And your very special surprise mystery film choice based on the word oily.
Sake.
Oil.
For God's sake. If I knew what you were doing, I would have picked a funner word.
Well, it was a random choice. You didn't pick the word, that's the point.
A random choice that plummeted our show into the bloody pits.
Oil. Oil.
oil ocean.
It'd be awesome. Anyway, see you again later.
That was Screen Bucket with Adam and Rob. You've learned about movies, now remember your job. There was TV and games and other stuff too. And now that we've shared it, we've finished the review. I was coming out like a diglet out of the ground.
Yeah. I don't know enough. I held onto her like a shoulder on a slowpoke.
She was the only woman who could make me soft as a ditto and hard as an onyx at the same time.
Oh, you got the upper hand here. Hang on.
She had lips like a jinx. And hair like a tangler.
He was sharp, real sharp, like a cipher on heat.
I poked her slow, and then I poked her bro. What are the other ones?
I was dry like a Geodude.
She had hemorrhoids like a Dugtrio.
Yes.
She has a mouth that just won't quit.
Yes! And I make her Persian. She made me wheedle.
Is this what's happening now? You're just doing this?
Yeah, I guess this is the show.
6 hours. She winked at me like a starmie.
Oh, she gave me the biggest Q boner you've ever seen, and then she marrow whacked me off. She made me horsey. You could say her hands were big, but they tore us a new one.
She really made my bells sprout.
Yeah. I saw Bellsprout coming up and I was like, who's going to get there first?